guys, we are back with another video. I think Theodore is now officially my sidekick. I know someone commented that on one of my other videos, but he is here to give all the tea with me apparently. Okay my loves, today we are talking about self-isolation. I know that it is so important. If you want to live a long life, you have to be surrounded by community, you need that support, you need that social interaction. It's a huge part of the Mediterranean culture, and it's one of the reasons why places like Greece, and I think there's a country in Italy, I think maybe is it Sardinia, that is one of those blue zones in the world because they really pride themselves on social interaction and making sure they spend time with their family. Whilst I totally agree with this, and I think it's so important that you go out and do social activities, when you are leveling up your life, which we are going to talk about today, there is an element where you will have to self-isolate a little bit. Now that doesn't mean completely removing yourself from society and social interactions, because like I literally just said, it is so important. But what I mean by that is you do have to start to surround yourself with like-minded people. So whilst you are self-isolating from the world and kind of like leveling up your life, you do have to remove yourself from people that aren't really like-minded. For example, if you want to start a business but you have all of your friends that aren't really supportive of you starting a business, or don't really get it, or just want to kind of like take your time away from you and persuade you to go on nights out and things like that, and judge you and start to get nasty if you say, well no, I need to focus on this, then those aren't the right kind of people that you should really be hanging out with anymore. And it's really important that you surround yourself with like-minded people. Is that other people who are starting businesses? Is that other people that are long-term or short-term or mid-term kind of entrepreneurs, or people that are also trying to level up their life in different way? It doesn't have to be in the same sector. For example, if you want to open your own gym and start your own business, and that's going to take so much work, but you could also surround yourself with friends that might be working on a cool like graphic design project, and they're a graphic design entrepreneur, or they're working at a tech startup and they're trying to build something on the side because they're building like a cool, like, I don't know, app or something. That is the kind of people you want to surround yourself by, because they are people with big ambitions and they want something different from their lives rather than just going to the pub and drinking. Unfortunately, this is a huge harsh reality when friendships are dragging you down, and sometimes you just have to be unapologetically yourself and really let yourself be yourself. I personally didn't let myself be myself for years. I was almost finding myself between the ages of 18 and 24, 25, whereas when I got to 25, I was like, what am I doing with my life? I'm really not, exploring what I really want to do. And I knew what I wanted to do deep down in my core, and I almost missed six years of trying to do that. So I would have really if you're watching this, if you're younger, if you're older than me, I'm 27 at the moment, just take this as a moment of like really thinking, what do I want to do and am I doing it? Because if you want to live your life in a different way, the best thing to do is literally just start, and do not care what other people think. If you start, removing yourself from the people that aren't as like-minded as you, and they're going to judge you for that, then they weren't your good friends in the first place, and they're not supportive people. I am so lucky that I still have really long-term friends from school, and whilst we don't all have the same ambitions in life in terms of what we want to achieve, I still get to see them a couple of times a year, but I'm not going out of my way to go to a pub night all the time, because like on a weekly basis, because that doesn't serve me, my ambitions and my goals. But I would still go see my friends when I can, and it's still so lovely, and we still have the best time ever when we do it. However, how I do fill my time is I go instead with my friends that are like-minded to Pilates, or we go on walks, or we go to the farm to go, to do our Pilates and have a healthy lunch, or we go on shoot days together and create content. Those kind of people are the people you want to surround yourself by, and that is what you want to be doing if you want to kind of like level up your life. Number 2 is removing yourself from all distractions. Distractions are literally surrounding us on a day-to-day. I feel like this time in the world, more than ever in 2025, I can't believe we're in 2025 now, there are so many more distractions than there ever were, whether it's what's going on in the news, social media, work, friendships, everything. It can be a lot. One thing I don't do, and it's quite controversial, but it hasn't really affected my life in any way, and that is I've removed all news apps from my phone. It must be about a year and a half ago, nearly 2 years ago now. Now this doesn't mean I don't stay up to date with the latest news, actually, I'm very lucky that David, my boyfriend, tells me anything that's like really important that I need to know that will, you know, that might be like life-changing or something. If you're like me and you are overly anxious and you do worry about the state of the world and things like that too much, removing these apps from your phone will transform your life. The media companies are there to kind of not just I wouldn't say they dramatize things, because things in the world are really awful when you look into it, especially at the moment. However, you know, they do really clickbaity headlines, especially, you know, there are some media outlets that are like actually the worst for this. So I tend to kind of remove myself from this as much as possible. And that doesn't mean you can't just like search on Safari, like BBC News or whatever news outlet you want to use to kind of see it and keep up to date with things. Otherwise, you're just filling your brain with unnecessary stress, and that's not what you need. Another really big distraction is obviously social media and doom scrolling. There is a guy called TJ Power who has a book called Dose and talks a lot about this, I think, in his book Dose. And he even said, I think last year was the year that he kind of pushed out his addiction from his phone, which I think is so amazing. I am the worst for it. Like, my job requires me to be on my phone so much, and of course I end up doom scrolling. Like, sometimes doom scrolling through TikTok is really fun, but we have to rein it in, and we have to do things like maybe not going on your phone an hour before bed, which me and David have implemented this year, taking time out from your phone, not going on it during work hours and things like that. Even shutting it in a drawer in another room when you're trying to get some really important work. That means you'll be picking it up less and less distracted and really focus on the task at hand, and probably level up your life in so many amazing ways. Now, another distraction, and this is again kind of feeds into my first point, is removing negative people and distractions from your life. So if there is a person within your family or your friendship group or your social circle, whatever, that brings a lot of negative distractions, you don't need that in your life, and it's really important you cut it out. I am a firm believer on this. I have done this with friendships, and I have also done it with family. And to say that on here, it's quite hard to say that I've done that with family, but there have been times when I have literally had to cut out really close immediate family because the way they were behaving and acting was really having a negative impact on my performance. And I really, you know, I don't think it's an essential. Like, I feel like this is quite a controversial one, so I don't want to tell people to like cut out a family member now and again, but really review how much time you're spending with that person, how much you're seeing them. Can you limit it in any way? For me, I had to go cold turkey, cut it off completely, and my life has never been so much better for it. I feel like I am a lot more control. I've developed to be my own person without that negative impact from that other person, and it has just really helped me. I think sometimes in life, you know, we only have one life, and just because you're born into a family doesn't mean that you necessarily have to spend all that time with them and surround yourself with them all the time if they're having a negative impact on you. So I firmly believe that your family can be built from friendships, which I've firmly proved with a lot of the friendships I've had. I have like amazing friends that I all consider family, and I think there's something so beautiful and special about that. Right, another part of like your self-isolation is, you know, don't share your goals always and your dreams with your friendship group and the people you're surrounded with, especially the people that you might be like cutting out or removing yourself from as you're leveling up. That also means like sharing it on social media. Like, for example, I am a content creator, but I'm not going to share all of my goals with you guys on Instagram, on TikTok, like what I aim to achieve from having these channels this year. Sometimes leveling up in silence is the best, and you shock people the most, there's something so rewarding about that. And I think it's so beautiful that you can do that, and people can suddenly turn around one day and be like, oh my gosh, how did they do that? They're a completely different person. And also I think not that I'm like superstitious anyway, but you don't want to like jinx any of your goals, and you don't want to overshare. I think write them down every day, work towards them, and don't kind of get in like a glorified mindset of trying to hit all of those goals by sharing them with loads of people. Just keep them to yourself and work on them over time, and hold yourself accountable, which is the most important thing, because why are you sharing your goals with so many people? Does that really validate? Is it for a validation reason? I'm not too sure, but whereas for me, I will share my goals with David, but we wrote ours separately for the year, and then we kind of like reviewed them together, because a lot of our goals kind of like intertwine and sync together, which I think is fine. But I'm not going to go shouting them from the rooftops or even tell like his parents really too much about what my goals are, because I just want to work on them and like really achieve them, and then be like, oh, I've actually done it, you know. So within your self-isolation, you are going to have some kind of daily routine, and that includes a morning and a nighttime routine. Having a morning routine and a nighttime routine is so important. But let's start with the nighttime routine, because your nighttime routine sets yourself up for every day. How you end your day every day will literally define, I personally think, how you will start your next day. So within your nighttime routine, and we are going to cover this in a video coming up soon, I'm going to do like my 5 to 9 bedtime routine after I've, you know, finished work and everything. What essentially you really need to do is you need to wind down, you need to have an early dinner, work out or go on a walk or get some time in nature if you haven't already that day, and then you really need to start winding down quite quickly and going to bed by 9 a.m. if you want to be a 5 a.m. 6 a.m. riser like I am. Now within this, you really should prioritize your skincare routine. It's the most important time of day to do your skincare. I prioritize it over my morning routine, and then you like journaling, reading, putting your legs up on the wall, having a nice calm cup of chamomile tea, dandelion tea, that kind of thing will really set you up for the day. And with your lights out by 9 p.m, phone away, you will literally become a new person. You will be awake early, and then that will kind of transcend into your morning routine. And within your morning routine, I don't know about you guys, but I am such a morning gym person. If I don't do it in the morning, I really have to convince myself to do it later in the day. So getting up at 5-6 a.m. to go to the gym, and then coming home, making sure you're planning your day, you're having a really high protein, nourishing breakfast, showering, making sure you feel good, doing a very minimal skincare, and also within that, making yourself look presentable. If you're working from home, within your morning, make sure that you look presentable. I personally don't feel like I achieve much when I haven't made myself look a little bit more presentable for the day, and that will really set yourself up for doing really well. The next one really does feed into this self-isolation piece, and a lot of people might not agree with me on this, but because there are a lot of successful people that live in cities. However, I personally do think you should change your environment, and from my perspective, I live in the countryside in the middle of nowhere, which has really helped me limit a lot of my distractions. For example, I live a 10-minute drive from a train station, so going out for drinking in London and coming back is pretty difficult unless I want to spend the money on a train fare and get a taxi, which all racks up to be quite expensive. And I'm also less encouraged to just go out all the time and spend loads of money rather than saving it and building it towards my future. I don't want you to think that I don't have any fun. I definitely still have loads of fun with my life, but I choose my moments, I work hard, and then I play really hard, whether that's going on holiday or going on a staycation in the UK or going out for the odd dinner for birthdays and celebrations and things like that, rather than like doing it so frequently that you're just spending all your money away. And it's like, what for? Do you really want to live a life of abundance all the time, or do you want to save a little bit more so you can really enjoy your late 20s and your 30s? And I'm not saying be boring until you retire, because that's definitely not what life is about. I am not for that either, but I really do think that investing in yourself now, even if you level up in the next 6 months, you isolate yourself a little bit more, you cut out the wrong people, you change your environment, and just give it 6 months, you will see such a difference that I feel like it will transform who you are as a person. I'm a firm believer in that, and I feel like I've become so much more aligned to myself as soon as I kind of did all of those things. Now, the final thing is a little recommendation of when you're self-isolating is to really pick a focus and really pick what your lane is. For me at the moment, I know what mine is. It's really difficult because I have a business, I work a 9 to 5 and I do content creation, but within that I kind of know what my main focus is and what I want to achieve from this year. On top of all like the other goals, you just really need to be working towards one thing, so you don't have too many distractions and you're not dipping your toes in too many things, so you're not actually overall achieving anything. So yeah, definitely make sure that you pick one focus, whether that's starting one business, not multiple, or that you're not trying to overdo it too much. I also want to touch on romanticizing the little things, because I feel like that plays into the reason of like, I don't want you guys to think that I have no fun. I actually find so much joy within life, and especially being so like isolated from everything, in romanticizing the little things. That includes my morning coffee and being grateful for my morning coffee. That includes journaling each day, being grateful that I can sit there and really plan and dream about what I want to do in life. That includes my dog walk every day that I go on with this little guy. I literally love them so much, and it makes my heart so full. Even when I visit the farm on the weekends and go get a coffee, and it's just the most wholesome organic farm shop ever, and I just absolutely love that whole experience. It makes me so happy. It's little things like that that will literally, you know, change your life and romanticize things. And also when I'm doing the food shop, I want to buy myself flowers this week to brighten my apartment and make it feel a little less beige, which I know it is, and empty, because I personally don't want to spend loads of money on furniture at the moment when I could be saving towards my future and my businesses, etc. So really make sure you make time to romanticize little things. I'm a huge fan of that. If there's anything that you do that you romanticize each day and you want to leave it down below, I think it would be a really nice thing to drop in the comments, a really positive, beautiful thing that we can all maybe discuss. And I reply to every single comment that I receive, so please make sure that you are commenting, and if you do like this video, like and subscribe, because it makes a huge difference. Can't even tell you, if you guys are enjoying these kind of videos, it would really massively help me. And please let me know if this video helps you in any particular way. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Like I said, this is how I live my life and how I would recommend people to live theirs, but if it's not for you, I totally get that. It's just a very personal perspective, and I think it's quite a nice way of living. So please let me know what you guys think, and I will see you guys in the next one. That was episode 3 of Get Up and Glow, and next week we will have a couple more really fun episodes. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.